Give me like 3 seconds to set the phone up, and I'm gonna run the show. Hold on.
Welcome. This service is provided by freeconferencecall.com. There is one host in this conference.
You. Yep.
Beats Planet.
My bad, y'all. My fault. My fault. Thanks for being here, though. Thanks for tuning in. I got everything but water. We gonna go ahead and get rolling though, cause I'm a little bit behind on that. But could y'all just tell me what I sound like real quick? Can y'all just um update me on on what my sound like? Inquiring minds would like to know. I have a new soundboard and I should not have any technical difficulties after I get everything set up. Shouts out to all of those that contributed to the soundboard, whether it be T-Rod, whether it be Steven Benzick, whether it be Anime Dolphin, Nini, all of those people that helped put in on the technology. This brand new piece of technology on my desk is still relatively brand new. So once I get all the little tweaks tweaked up, we ain't gonna have to fool with it anymore. So y'all just let me know what my sound sounds like, and then we'll get on to the festivities. You know what I mean? It's been a minute. We actually skipped the Thursday show from last week because I was just moving around doing some things or whatnot, so that exists. But I've been so inspired by the the outreach and the support and the all that we gonna drop some type of content every day this week. It's gonna be a mixture of draft content. It's gonna be mostly draft content, but I got like one cowboy video that's coming out. We got a cowboy draft video, a best sack technicians, 3 film sessions on players, and we got the 2 Senior Bowl joints, and we dropped the Amari Cooper video yesterday. So I appreciate y'all for putting in on all that and helping this thing come to fruition and all that. So I'm just gonna continue to work hard and give back and all that. You know what I mean? So today, what I wanted to do, I wanted to kind of clean up on some of the position groups that we touched on already. We've touched on edge, offensive tackle, wide receiver, D tackle, and of course, when I watched film on those different groups, there were some players that I didn't really get a chance to catch up on. So this is me cleaning up those 4 positions before we move on to the next set. The next set will probably be like running backs. We'll do some safeties, interior offensive line. Maybe we'll probably do something like that, and linebackers. That'll be the next group of 4 that we get into. All right. So before I get started with that, please, y'all, I apologize. This is the last time I'm gonna leave. Then we're gonna get this thing rolling. Give me 22 seconds to go grab my water. You can count it down in the chat box if you need to. Hold on. All right, here we go. We back. Now, let me just dig into my notes real fast because, of course, every week when I watch film on certain players or whatever, and we get into the breakdown, position breakdowns or whatnot, there's always a handful of people in the chat box, people in the comment sections or whatever, spitting out names of people that I may have missed, that I didn't get a chance to watch. Instead of ignoring those, I wrote them down and I just said I was going to come back to them. Your boy Joe Sandberg in the chat box been trying to ask me about Ross Blacklock for weeks. For weeks. And I'm like, I ain't know who the hell that is, but I wrote the name down and I went back to it. And of course, I have an answer for you now, young Joe Sandberg. So salute to you, my guy. We're going to pop this chat out. We're going to take a sip of water and we're going to open up the Dak Prescott talking about money. We're gonna have to do a cowboy video like tomorrow or something. No, cowboy video Thursday. We're doing a cowboy video Thursday, and we're gonna do an additional draft video tomorrow because the Senior Bowl stuff is still kind of hot. All right, let's talk about some guys that I missed the first time. Chat box, y'all want to do some receivers? Y'all want to talk about some edge players? I got a lot of edge players. Receivers, edge players. I got 2 defensive tackles. About 6 edge guys, 3 receivers. Chat box, what y'all want to hear from first? And like 2 offensive tackles that I'm just gonna shit on. So, chat box, tell me what y'all want to hear first. Just let me know as I sip my water. Mm-mm. How's it taste, mother? Let's see. DT, OT, Edge, big guys. That kind of sums it all up. Nene, we're going to talk about running backs next time. D-line, cool. Let's do defensive tackles first. Steven Benzie dropped 5 in the super chat. He says edge D-line. So we're just going to do edge first since super chats matter the most in this congregation here. And of course the phone lines are open if y'all want to call in. 515-606-5187, access code 309-104. Also, there's a lot of housekeeping I got. Pardon me. We're gonna be doing a watch party directly after this. So at 7:15, in an hour exactly, I'm going to be releasing the North Senior Bowl practice day. People been hitting me on Twitter machine and the other little social medias and say, "Hey, Voch, they released more Senior Bowl footage for you. It's not from the network, so it's actually a good view of all the pass rush angles or whatever." Well, I did those, right? I got those videos and I did a North team video and a South team video, and I got like 2 30-minute videos. I'm dropping one today and I'm dropping one tomorrow. So directly after this live stream, we're going to be watching North Senior Bowl pass rush practice. So tune in for that. Don't go nowhere when this is over with. But let's talk about defensive tackle since I only got a handful of them. Justin Madubuike from Texas A&M. I noticed that when certain fans in a certain fan base, when their beat writers start the mock drafting or whatever, and they see players in a mock draft situation, they come to me and they be like, "Voch, what you think about these guys?" I think it's early to kind of be in that mindset because you just never know what player is going to be on the board when your team starts to pick or whatever. But I'm not a fan of the Madubuike guy. Not a fan of him. He just looks like a pedestrian, and he looks kind of small. And I'm not really in that. I'm not really in the business of small defensive tackles there. But now, let me say this though, he does have production. He has some sacks. He has some pass rush in him. He has the ability to make things shake in the pass rush department or whatever. I'm just not a fan personally. He's just not. He's not the type of player I like. He's a pretty solid effort guy or whatever. We're gonna have a long conversation about effort in this new content that we about to drop or whatever. But he's a big effort guy, solid, very solid player. Doesn't really blow me away in any kind of way, but he does have a handful of sacks. I thought that was impressive, but he was just a player that I wasn't that much of a fan of. You know what I mean? So if there's any Justin Madubuike fans, I'm sorry. I'm not a fan. But it's interesting when I watch Ross Blacklock from TCU, he looked just like Tristan Hill. If anybody did research on or they watched film on him last year, or you're a Cowboy fan, you should be familiar with Tristan Hill. That makes some people nervous, I bet, because they don't like Tristan Hill or whatever. But if you take a look at what a late second round defensive tackle is, I'm talking about Ross Blacklock and Tristan Hill, so, just whatever. They're guys that need to develop, that may or may not be ready immediately. You know what I mean? Like it's not a lot of D tackles that you just take the wrapper off. There's not like top first round picks or whatever. It's not a lot of D tackles that's gonna come fresh off the boat, ready to play and like produce well like that. So when I look at Ross Blacklock, he's another kind of guy like that. He's another quick bursty dude at 3 tech, which is the kind of player I like. His ball get off is not as good as Hill's was. Like Hill had a nasty ball get off. Blacklock's ball get off ain't that great, but you do see the quickness, and you do see the burst in there in terms of him being an interior defensive tackle or whatever. I do like that about him, and he's just another player that's just gonna have to develop, and he'll be better next year. He'll be better next year. We don't need another Tristan. Come on. I'm sick of arguing with Cowboy fans. I'm telling you, man, once I retire, me and Nene talked about this a lot, boy. When I retire, I just want y'all to miss me, man, because y'all the ones that ran me away. Y'all the ones that got me up out of here. Let's see. I think that's all the D tackles I got. I took a look at Marlon Davidson. I just saw somebody ask me about Marlon Davidson. Joe in the chat box, cool. Marlon Davidson had a pretty good day one Senior Bowl practice. He's from Auburn or whatnot. I'll just say a D lineman from Auburn. When you watch the film on him, you take a look at what he did in Senior Bowl. He plays both. There's another guy on my list that plays both. We'll talk about that in a second. He's a guy that's probably gonna play defensive end when he gets to the league, because he's not a terribly big guy. He's not like built like a super big dude. He's gonna play defensive end, but every time he plays 3-tech, he wins with so much quickness, son. Every time you see the dude at 3, he wins with a gang of quickness, man. He's so fantastic, just off the snap of the ball, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let me say this. Okay, him and Jason Strobridge from UNC, North Carolina, right? They the same kind of guy, almost. Marlon's better though, but they the same kind of guy. They're both 5-techs. They can play 3. They both win with quickness on the inside. They win with some power moves when they're outside. But the one thing about both of them is that if they beat you off the rip, they beat you. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they get you in the first half of the pass rush fight, they win. But if you block them, they need to find a way to get off you. Like, they need to find a way to have a second level of pass rush ability, like a second pass rush move once that second engagement happens. You know what I mean? Once we do like Senior Bowl practice film for the South team that comes out tomorrow, you'll kind of see an example of what I'm talking about. Plus, if you watch the in season film, you'll kind of see what I'm saying there. But if they beat you off the rip with some hand slap move or with speed, or just if they beat you off the rip, you're done. You're dead as fried chicken, and that's what's impressive about them. And they really flash in that way. But they're not incredibly bendy as D ends. Like they're probably both left defensive ends. They're solid versus the run, but I think they give you value pass rushing. They're pass rushing left defensive ends, if that makes sense. They both the same kind of guy. I just think Marlon's a little better. Marlon's a little more polished. Marlon's a little more athletic. And I think Marlon's a little more like nasty and relentless. Strobridge got a lot to work on in terms of just how to play football. He ain't raw, but he just gotta play a little more football to learn the game a little better. But I like both those players. Swaggy dude. Okay, so listen, just in case y'all not like familiar with how Voch channel go, like, this ain't Cowboy season no more. This draft season. So you got 32 teams worth of fans up in here. You know what I mean? So I ain't necessarily just talking Cowboys right now. I'm talking about every single body. So sure, the Cowboys don't need a small 3-tech, but hey, the Broncos might need a small 3-tech or something. You know what I mean? So y'all had y'all time. Y'all had y'all time. Marlon needs polish. Sure. He could use a little more polish on him. He's more polished than Jason. I would say that. Josh Uche. You know what I really like about what I like about Josh Uche is he don't understand how good he is yet. Right? If you watch Josh Uche, and I could be wrong here, but every time his ego gets intact, right, and he starts to engage with people, he starts to lose fights. But when he pass rushing and he has that mindset of not letting people touch him, he don't lose. Right? So if he's going to be quick, bendy outside guy, let him be quick, bendy outside guy. And he smokes ass being quick, bendy outside guy. He ain't even got to use hands because he's so quick, bendy outside guy. But every time Josh Uche say, I'm going to use my hands this time, I'm going to get in and engage and and hand fight, he loses battles like that. And I'd be like, Josh, stop. I'd be like, stop. And then I got a chance to watch Senior Bowl practice or whatever. I'm like, cool, let's watch Josh Uche and see what he do. Right? And when he's speed rushing people, he smokes ass. But when he puts hands on folks, he loses. Stop, Josh Uche. Right? Some coach is going to let him know, right? They're going to tap him on the shoulder like, Josh Uche, you're only 240 something pounds and you don't need to be putting hands on folk like that. You know what I mean? Somebody's going to say that because he's been overpowered before. If you watch the Senior Bowl game, like he got pancaked within his first 3 or so plays or whatever. So that's just what that is. But I I like Josh Uche though. He is a situational pass rusher. I will say that. I will, in fact, give you that. Think about Josh Uche. Like it's a lot of guys in this draft that fall in that mold though, and it's something that pissed me off by this draft too. Is not a lot of balanced defensive ends. You either a power defensive end or you a skinny ass speed rusher. Chase might be the only balanced guy. And Marlon got some pretty good balance too, like Marlon and Jason or whatever. But for the most part, it's a gang of small edge rushers and a gang of bigger power rushers that don't twitch very well. And it makes me sick. I can't stand it. So let's get into the quick edge rushy guys. Like that's Josh Uche. We just talked about him. Zach Bond from Wisconsin. Didn't touch on him at first. I'm never a fan of Wisconsin linebackers. I'm never a big fan of, especially like just how they play linebacker. But I like Zach as an edge player though, and they kind of put they kind of put his role. They mix his role up from that spot. You know what I mean? So they'll have him dropping back in coverage and doing things like that. And I don't like Zach Bond dropping back in coverage. I don't like Josh Uche dropping back in coverage. They can do it, but I don't like him doing it. Zach Bond make babies going forward. Bradley and I make babies going forward. Josh Uche make babies going forward. You know what I mean? Let those guys roll up and be quick. Zach Bond didn't lose a rep at Senior Bowl practice. Not a one. I'm gonna show you. Tune in. Not a one. Zach Bond did not lose not one rep at Senior Bowl practice. So Zach Bond is another pass rusher guy. I think he's going to be a little better in the run game because his awareness and understanding is a little better. You know what I mean? To where he's more prone to duck and get off of people or whatever. But Zach Bond, pass rusher from Wisconsin, I like him. Bradley and not only as a pass rusher, I like him. You know what I mean? When it's time for the offensive lineman to hit back and go forward, then Bradley and I is in some deep doo-doo. But as a pass rusher, as a situational pass rusher, sure, Bradley and I is good. Anthony Jennings, number 33 from Alabama. He's another situational pass rusher in my opinion. I don't think he's a good linebacker, but also I don't think he's a very good pass rusher. Anthony Jennings. I think Terrell is a better pass rusher. Like there's actually a role for Terrell Lewis, Mike Tyson. I think there's a better role for him. Terrell Lewis is number 24 for Alabama. He's the other edge rusher because he can actually play edge. Like he actually got some power to him. He got twitchy. He's speedy guy. He can play in the run. He's a very good pass rusher. They making Anthony Jennings play linebacker because he's not a defined pass rusher yet. He's quick. He's got quickness. He's athletic, but he's not a defined pass rusher. So you're making Anthony Jennings play linebacker. Anthony Jennings play linebacker, but he's not a great linebacker. You know what I mean? So Anthony Jennings, he's just another guy that I'm not a fan of. Another guy that I'm not necessarily a fan of, but I do like Terrell Lewis. His only concern is if he can stay healthy. I'll probably have a film session on him at some point. Terrell Lewis was interesting because he got a lot of his sacks doing stunts, and he got his sacks from between the guards, like an A gap and B gap or whatever. Like he did some of his outside pass rush things, but a lot of his pass rushing sacks came from stunts where he was on the inside. Now that was interesting. That was interesting. But anyway, that's just that. Who else on my list I got? Has he talked about? I haven't talked about Devon Hamilton from Ohio State. I haven't talked about him. But I do know he exists. He will be in my Senior Bowl footage, so you can keep tabs on my Senior Bowl footage and watch that. And we could probably take something from there. And I think that's basically what you get from him. That he's a solid interior pass rush guy. I wouldn't call him a great pass rush guy, but he can give you some kind of value on the inside. I don't like him versus the run. I just don't. I haven't seen him be powerful enough. He may have his moments or whatever, but I haven't seen him be powerful in a way that would warrant like some day one or two type of recognition. He's like a day 3 guy to me. That's just my thoughts though. That's just my opinions. Alden Robinson from Syracuse. I think I talked about him last time though, but he's another guy that I like. He's a balanced guy. He's a guy that's balanced. He can do some power things. He can do some quick things. I'm not gonna call him super bendy, but if he's beating the hell out of somebody, he can bend in that way. I will say that he can do that. Wins with quickness and hands, and yeah, he can win in a variety of ways. So I like Alden Robinson from Syracuse. He probably made some money in the Senior Bowl. So y'all doing too much. Mike FIFA, what is that? Soccer? Who is that? Quintez Cephas. I've heard of him. I haven't watched him though. Heard of Paris Ford? I don't think so. But it's still February though. I probably have like 4 rounds done by the end of February, and March I'm gonna do some more cleanup stuff. So we in a good place right now. We about where we at. But nah, I haven't seen Paris Ford. Reminds me of Armstrong. I think Alden can be a little better than Dorrance Armstrong. That's just my thoughts and opinions there. But I like him a little better. Yartir Gross Matos. See, that let me know that you ain't watched the last Edge video. Go watch the last live stream we did on Edge Players. Go watch that. Maybe I should do that though. Chat box, what y'all think? Y'all like I should go back to those old videos while I was breaking down players and chop that out of the long live stream and make a shorter video of it. I just assumed that people tuned in, that the crowd of people that cared what I had to say about player evaluation. I just assumed that y'all tuned in. I didn't think that y'all would come back later and say I didn't watch that episode. We talked about Evan Weaver last episode. Yeah, so I'm Curtis Weaver. Yeah, who is Evan Weaver? Is there 2 Weavers? I know Curtis is Boise State guy, but is there an Evan Weaver that I didn't know? Y'all help me out on that. But that's about all the edge guys I got, and I know I got a couple receivers. Let's see. Yep, I got some receivers I got to go over too. So. Let me know. Voch, who is a solid top of the second round pass rusher? Depends. I don't know. Say that question though. That's a solid question. But top of the second round, I don't know. Depending on what people think about Marlon and what people think about Zach Bond, and depending on what they think about Bradley. Like, I'm not the best what round is this guy gonna go in guy. That ain't never been my game. But those guys, they names probably pop up at some point. But if y'all want to call into the show though, the number is 515-606-5187, access code 309-104. If you have any thoughts, any opinions, any type of Q&A stuff y'all want to go over, we got time, man. We got plenty of time to do this. I'm gonna take a sip of water and then we're gonna get into my wide receivers, my leftover wide receivers that I saw. All right, cool. You been saying shouts out to Coach Evans from Sip the Tally Films. Go over there and watch him. He's breaking down a lot of linebackers. He watch a lot of linebackers, man. Voch ain't watching a lot of these linebackers, man. I actually hate linebackers, but that's a whole nother conversation. Let's talk about receivers. I watched 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I watched 4 wide receivers. And then I'll get into the phones, and then I'll get into the chat box and answer y'all questions until 7:15, and then we'll go watch some film over on the other channel. All right. Denzel Mims. Denzel Mims is probably the better of the second half of guys I watched, and if you look at a lot of the it's a lot of size in this class or whatever, but there's a lot of tall guys that I don't like because they can't move. Claypool is one of them. from Notre Dame. Colin Johnson from Texas. I watched him. He's another big guy that's kind of stiff and doesn't really get open via route running. You know what I mean? He's another guy. I'm not really a fan. Michael Pittman, another guy, just kind of bigger. Not really a fan of him. He's bigger, not very, not very. You know what I mean? They just do big guy receiver things without having to do the extra technical stuff. That's the part that I don't really fool with. Denzel Mims is big guy, but his ass can run. So that makes it interesting. Kind of like what's my man's from Clemson, T. Higgins, right? 6'4", but I can run too. Gabriel Davis from UCF, big guy, but I can run too. You know what I mean? So when we run into those guys, these bigger receivers that can run, I'm more likely to watch them. I'd rather watch them more than the big guy that can't run, like the Colin Johnson and the Michael Pittmans and the Chase Claypools. You know what I'm saying? Those guys. But Denzel Mims, big ass, can run. Now, he's a little stiff. He can't turn very much. But I've grown as an evaluator, and if you put him in a situation where he ain't got to turn and run routes very much, you'll be fine. I always go back to the DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf is a very good example for us to keep our eyes on, right? Is he a first round pick? No. He got drafted appropriately. But Seattle don't put him in situations to where his cons show, right? DK Metcalf don't turn? Fine. Don't ask his ass to turn. We going to make him do yak things. We going to make him run past people. We going to make him jump over people. That's what you going to do with Denzel Mims. That's what you going to do with him. Denzel tall, he got long ass arms, and he can catch. Like, he really finds the football in the air, focus on the football, and make goofy ass little catches because he has great focus and great vision, like great tracking of the football, and he has great hands. So that's where Denzel Mims kind of like separates himself or whatever. I kind of got pissed off because Big 12 defenses did Big 12 defense thing, and I'm always weary of Big 12 defense thing, but then I watched his Georgia film, and he did pretty damn well versus Georgia. He had like 6 catches, like 75 yards, and like a touchdown or something versus Georgia, and that was enough to make me go, all right, cool, I'm fine with Denzel Mims because he did it versus competition, and he has a role in that offense that works for him that can be replicated in the National Football League. He's a big guy, but he's a big guy that can run. I just wouldn't ask him to do a lot of yak things. I wouldn't ask him to, do a lot in the quick game where he got to turn and get open quick and things like that. I wouldn't ask him to do that. But if we run the 9 routes, if we're doing red zone, like red zone stuff, man, I'm absolutely running Denzel Mims out there. So I do like him. I talked about Colin Johnson. He's a big guy that wins via doing big guy things, and I hate that. So that's that. Not only did so look, James Prochet, right? James Prochet from SMU, wide receiver. I don't know if I'm saying these. Let me just rewind for a second, because I know everybody ain't up on game. So that's Denzel Mims, receiver from Baylor. Then Colin Johnson, the big ass receiver from Texas, who is not Devin Duvernay from Texas. And now we got James Prochet, another wide receiver from SMU. Okay. These next 2 receivers are kind of the same guy, James Prochet and Tyler Johnson from Minnesota. They're the same kind of guy to me. Prochet's a little better, but they're both guys that are smaller. They got great hands. They understand coverages. They understand defenses and leverages. They aren't very gifted physically. Like, they small guy, but they ain't got blazing like Hamler speed. You know what I mean? Like when you watch Hamler from Penn State, he's a little dude, but you see his ass flying all over the place or whatever. Or you see Jalen Reagor flying all over the place. You know what I mean? Prochet and Johnson from Minnesota, this ain't them. They small, but they're not speedy, quickie, small guy. They more so get open by finding leverage and just catching the damn football and whatever yak they get, they just get. They'll probably be like slot guys or whatever, just based on watching the film. They'll probably be slot guys, but they got ball skills though. They got ball skills. They catch and they play real small to me, and it it just depends on what you want them to do. If you want them to play quick game stuff where they running like tunnels, they running like bubbles and things like that, then sure, do that to them. But I just fear for wide receivers that get into the league that aren't very fast, that don't win with route running. They win with understanding. You know what I mean? But it works for them though. It works for them. I ain't mad at them, but that's just what I get from them. And will they probably be like day 3 guys? They'll probably be day 3 guys, but that's okay. You can win with day 3 guys, assuming that you put them in the right scheme and all that. But yeah, that's what I got. I'm more so of a fan of Prochet. Not really a fan of Tyler Johnson from Minnesota, but that's okay. That's okay. Tyler Johnson is 6'2". Shit, he ain't 6'2" on film. He 5'11" on film, but you say so. You just made a new one with that one, Voch. Quickie Smalls. Yeah, I kind of make nicknames on accident, my guy. I do it on accident, my guy. I apologize. I'm gonna get into the phone real quick, and if not, we just gonna do we're gonna do chat box until it's time to go watch film on the other video. So let's hear what hey, what up, Joe?
Hey.
Now
I'm not gonna throw my phone.
Please don't throw your phone out the window when you see the police chasing the. You know what I mean? Like, hang in there, my guy. What you got for the show?
Hey, I was wondering, did you happen to watch James Lynch from Baylor?
I did not watch James Lynch from Baylor. What position did he play?
Well, keep in mind, Baylor does like a little bit weird Big 12 stuff. So they run like 3 defensive linemen, like five DBs, and
3-3 stack stuff. Yeah, stuff. I got you. No, I haven't watched him. I mean, should I watch him? Like, is he one of these undrafted free agent guys that you like, or is he like, a 5th round guy that I should be knowing?
Maybe 5th, but depending on the flavor of what type of guys you want, maybe higher.
Sure. I understand, my guy. I haven't watched him, but I did watch your TCU guy, Blacklock. You've been trying to get me to watch him for a minute. Yeah. He was just a little bit down the list, but I got to him though. He looked like Tristan Hill, man. It's just his ball, his get off ain't the same, but him and Tristan Hill, damn, they're the same kind of guy in terms of they win with quickness. They're not very strong. They're gonna have to put a little bit of body on them or whatever, but they can develop into somebody that can win and pass rush on the inside. So I like Blacklock, sure.
Right. Yeah, but once again, like, not everybody likes the same guy.
Sure. That's just Cowboy fans. That's just Cowboy fans doing Cowboy fan stuff. Don't even worry about that. But what else you got though?
Well, hey, you happen to watch Turner's name Cephas from Wisconsin?
Nope. See, y'all watch too much film, dog. Y'all watch too much film, dog. Y'all be moving too quick. Why y'all know these people in February, man? What are you doing? No, sir. Sir.
I got bored at one point.
I haven't been that bored. I apologize. But
you're good.
But if he's in this class, I'll know him by April. Is he good?
Right. All right, but he's not extremely talented.
Mm-hmm.
But he's draftable guy.
I understand, my guy. I understand. That's all you got?
That's all I got.
I appreciate you, Joe Sandberg. Salute to you, fella. Don't throw your phone out the window. Boy, look, Joe called in last week. Yeah, oh shit! Then the call just dropped. I'm like, Joe, you got people chasing you, man. We can't be doing that, Joe. We're gonna continue to move on here. We're gonna hit the button twice. Accident. What up, Tony?
Hey, what's up, Voch?
Everything, my guy. What you got for the show?
Actually, I want to ask you a question. I saw something interesting the other day.
What's up?
See, a lot of people are questioning if Jedrick Wills can play left tackle, right?
Okay.
Somebody floated the idea. since Tua was right-handed, he was already the blindside blocker in college. So him moving to left tackle should be easy. What's your opinion on that?
I'll tell you what. That's a hell of a goddamn observation. Oh boy. Who said that? They should get credit for that. Who said that?
I don't know. It was somebody, because I was like, oh, I didn't even really think about that.
That is interesting. Jedrick Will. And I'm like, how the hell Leatherwood end up being the left tackle? I said that shit. I'm like, but hey, Jedrick Wills is the right tackle because Tua's left-handed. That's interesting. Now I do think I do think Wills can play left tackle though. I think he's good enough to do it. I think it just depends on his handedness, on whatever he's comfortable doing. Because I always say, man, in the league you need two good tackles because everybody got two good pass rushers. So I'm not really into your left tackle should be better than your right tackle deal. But Jedrick Wills, I think he can play. That is interesting. Who said that? You said that? That was your idea? Who said that?
Nah, I saw somebody say it. I gotta find it. Because I saw it, I was like, oh, I didn't really think about that.
Don't worry about it. It's brilliant. Was it one of these media people? Because I don't want to give them credit.
Yeah.
Well, don't worry about it then. It was your idea. Don't worry about it, Tony. You said that shit. It's all you, guy. Salute to you. That's a great observation, my dude. What else you got?
So I know you ain't really, you touched on some of the D tackles, but the first time we talked about D tackle, it was mostly Derek Brown and Javon Kinlaw.
Who else you got?
I was looking at Neville Gallimore. I was trying to
Sure.
Well, I really first looked at Raekwon Davis, right?
Okay.
Because I'm an Alabama fan, and I've been hearing the hype around this guy for the longest time.
Sure.
Right? And I finally watched him. I was like, man, I don't see it. Because the first thing I watched, I was like, well, let me watch Auburn, because they run the ball a lot. They keep talking about he's such a great run defender.
Sure.
And when I was watching him, I was like, oh, man. It's like, oh, yeah, he going to punch you, he going to stand you, but sometimes he just stay there. Like, he don't get rid of the block.
Sure.
Like, a punch is stand, he just won't get rid of the block. And I was like, man, I don't see what's the hype around him. Yeah. And I watched South Carolina tape.
Sure.
And that man went crazy. He was actually, defeating blocks. He was standing, defeating blocks. He was making big plays. He was shutting down runs that would be 10-plus yard plays and making them like a 1-plus yard play.
That's a fantastic observation from you, my guy. I agree on all points. It feel like we've been watching film on Davis for 3 damn years now, so I agree there. But he's not going to be a pass rusher for you. He's going to be. I think he'll be a great 3-4 defensive end because his punching and reading. I think that'll work well for two gap teams or whatever. So just let him play head up on somebody tackle or whatever, and just let him do that. But I ain't trying to let him get upfield or nothing like that. That's a fantastic observation by you. He's not a first rounder to me though, so let me just go ahead and say that too. In terms of Neville Gallimore, it's interesting because when I first watched him, I looked at him like he was a one tech because he was kind of fat to me. But as of late, he lost a lot of weight and he's looking like a 3 tech now. So he has quickness, so he does come off the ball, but he's very inconsistent. He gets kind of up and down with how he beats people. He's another one of these guys where if he beats you off the rip, you dead as fried chicken. But if you get hands on him and settle down in the block, he ain't really got a second. He ain't really got a second option to get away from you. So you absolutely right on all fronts, my guy.
Yeah, I was looking at Gallimore. I was like, man, that dude is athletic. But I was like, man, he ain't as good against the runners as I thought he would be. Also, I was like, that man is he barely over 300 pounds. Why is he playing nose tackle for Oklahoma? I was like, he must be all that guy. Because he would get double teamed, and when he get double teamed, he do not look that good.
Sure.
He gets moved. They turn him and everything.
Sure, yeah. Sure. It just, and he's a powerful dude, kinda, but his power comes from his ball get off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So once you get past that first bit of ball get off, you know what I mean? He's kind of got. He's kind of got. But yeah, that's some good observation from you.
Yeah. Also, I want to ask a question about Marlon Davis. Now,
what's up?
I was watching him at the Senior Bowl, da-da-da-da-da. So I didn't know this. The Senior Bowl got weigh-ins, right?
Okay.
He weighed in at 297.
Yeah.
That was a surprise for me. I was like, oh.
Because he doesn't wear that weight like that. He doesn't look like 297. Yeah.
Nah.
Big ass dude. But he's built like a defensive end kind of sort. He's built slender and he moves quickly. But he's 290 something. It's absolutely. That's the same point I was making about Brown and Kinlaw. Like Derek Brown 300 pounds, but he looked chubby. Kinlaw looks like a defensive end, you know what I mean? At 3 however much or whatever. So all these guys all over the place, man. They just carry their weight different.
Yeah, I was like, he 397. I would love to know if he was 397 during the season, because that would really clarify how long he's been playing at this weight. Because I want to know if he added this weight.
Yeah.
Because if he just added his weight, then we got to, mostly go off the Senior Bowl clips, which was good. But you probably like to have a little bit more, film to watch of him at this new weight. It was somebody I was about to talk about. Somebody. Oh, I want to ask you something about Derek Brown. That's something you really touched on. How do you feel about Derek Brown, his ability to move laterally?
I think he has some pretty good movement laterally. If you watch him, run them slants and gap exchanges, twist up front, he moves pretty well side to side. I would rather him move forward. But he's got some lateral ability though. I've seen him run some. If you watch my film session, I got some lateral movement on there. Some examples of him moving laterally.
Yeah, I was watching that because also I'm starting to see people literally, really considering Derek Brown as a top 3 pick.
Well,
which is crazy.
Well, that's good for them because that just means Isaiah Simmons gonna fall. That's a better chance for him to land on my team, so they can do what they want to do.
If you want Isaiah Simmons to fall, the best thing probably happen to you is if Henry Ruggs run like a 4.2.
Whatever needs to happen, my guy. Whatever they need to do to pull this thing off. You know what I'm saying? Some weed gonna end up in the car, you know what I mean? The gas mask, you know what I mean? Whatever we need. You know what I think though, bro? I think we ain't even got to prove that it's Isaiah Simmons with the gas mask. We just got to upload a video and say it's him. Because Laramie Tunsil, we never saw Laramie face. He had a gas mask on. Yeah, I mean, we don't know that was him. I'm just going to say it was Isaiah Simmons. Day of the draft, we're going to watch that ass fall and we're going to win Super Bowls because they was negligent and they let me do what I want to do. But hey, Tony, appreciate you, man. Thanks for the call, my guy.
You welcome.
Simmons at 17, my guy. Ain't it crazy how we put that on Tunsil, but we never saw his face? Never saw Laramie Tunsil's face. Not one time. Not one time. Whatever though. 516, what up?
What's going on, Voch? I'm glad you brought up Isaiah, man, because I'm the guy on Twitter that had brought him up to you. I was a Giants fan, Duke Falconer on Twitter.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, I'm glad you like the Giants pick. I would pick more than the Redskins pick. Okay. And then you was like, I said that, and then that's when I went on to say, and I'm bringing up a topic here. That's when I went on to say that he did a generational thing. I wasn't saying he was a generational talent. I was saying his sacks was a generational thing to do. But my question for you is, when I actually started to watch him more and see him as a linebacker, because there's only one full year of that, even though he moves around a lot, I actually started to say that maybe he is a generational talent linebacker. Because like the only guy I could see him like sort of being near as an NFL prospect was like a Luke Kuechly, like someone who I think is generational. So would you say he's generational or not? Like, do you think he's just a good linebacker?
First of all, let me say you are a troublemaker. You know what I'm saying? You love to start shit. So I ain't gonna say nothing to you. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know it was you, but now I know it's you. I just put you down, just put your name on this number, so I know it's you now.
All right, cool.
But my Isaiah Simmons thoughts and opinion is I don't think he's a generational. I think what makes him generational is that he has the ability to do multiple things well. You know how we talk about how we talk about what's my man? Fitzpatrick, Minka Fitzpatrick, right? We talked about how generational he was because he can play free and strong and inside corner and outside corner. But he was really good at safety, but he wasn't the outside corner that we thought he was. Or Jabril Peppers, like, he can play this and he can play linebacker. But Jabril can play linebacker, but he wasn't good at it like we thought he was going to be. I think what makes Isaiah Simmons generational is the fact that he's a really good linebacker. He's a really good he's really good at these things, and he's a really good pass rusher. But individually, I don't think he's generational at any of those things. I think he's a really good linebacker.
Okay.
I think he's a really good strong safety. I think he's a solid, interesting pass rusher. What really gets me hype about pass rush is that I just saw his ass playing strong safety a play ago. You know what I mean? But those players don't get drafted that highly. Off-ball linebackers, if you ain't generational, you don't get drafted that highly. Strong safeties, I know Jamal Adams did it, but I think the Jets just kind of reached for him. But all the other strong safeties, they don't get drafted that highly. So when I say Isaiah Simmons at 17, I don't want people to think I'm trolling. It's just that linebackers don't get drafted that high and safeties don't get drafted that high. Pardon me. So why would somebody that play both of them get drafted that high? That's just kind of my thoughts on that. Now he's a great player, but just have him as just long as he's there at 17, I'm good. But go ahead, my guy.
All right, I got two what would you rather questions.
Go ahead.
So my first one is this: would you rather Jerry Jeudy in the first, Van Jefferson in the second, or KJ Hill in the third?
KJ Hill in the third, you say?
Yeah.
I would rather Van in the second. I'm not a big fan of KJ Hill, and I love Jerry Jeudy. I just want to go elsewhere with my first round pick. Now, if Jerry Jeudy is there at 17 in Dallas, that's a real life conversation we got to have. It just depends who else is on the board, but I like Van's value a little more. I'll take Van in the second round.
Okay, and my other one is this. It's controversial, and it's something you spoke about, and I completely disagree with you, but I just want you to rehash it real quick, though.
Okay.
Would you rather a good offensive line with okay wide receiver or okay skill position players, or excellent elite skill position players in a bad O-line? Now I bring this up because of the Texas conversation you had with Deshaun Watson. How he had a bad O-line, but yeah, he has what's his face? He has DeAndre Hopkins, and
Sure.
yeah, I don't have DeAndre Hopkins, and I was like. I understand that, but offensive line, to me, it trumps the talent. You need the talent for sure. You know, Tom Brady, he always did have a reliable, tight end and wide receiver in Julian Edelman and Gronk. Mm-hmm. But you just need that good O-line, and I think that's way more important than having the DeAndre Hopkins, hands down.
I'll tell you what, even though I'm offensive line guy, I'm also offense coordinator guy, and I know how to win with the bad offensive line. If I had great skill players, I know how to win without an offensive line. Because there's a lot of schemes that allow you to win. There you can scheme as an offensive coordinator to take pass rush out of the equation. That's why some coaches would rather have top tier DBs, because they know how to eliminate pass rushes or whatever. If you look at the Cowboys, right? The Cowboys had 58 sacks last year. They kept the same offensive line, but this year they only had 23. It's not, and I think the O-line got worse, but because we got rid of the ball quicker, you know what I mean? Like, we started to make rhythm throws. We started to, we had different avenues we can go with the football. Plus, another Cowboy example. I've had a fantastic offensive line, and damn Bryce Butler starting that receiver. You know what I'm saying? But then also I've had an offense with Randall Cobb, Amari Cooper, Zeke, Michael Gallup, you know what I mean? And my offensive line was so-so. And the one with the good skill players, we was the number one offense in the league. So just let me scheme around pass rush. We just not gonna hold the ball long. We just gonna throw bubbles and slants and RPOs all day.
And that's a good reason too. Okay. All right, man. Yeah, that's really all I had. I was also seeing on Twitter that like don't underestimate AJ Epinesa. Because I think he's one of those plays you described when you were like he's a reliable pass rusher. He may not be this all-world talent, but he's a guy that you can count on to get you 10 to 12 sacks a year. And that's where I agree, and I like players like that. To me, that's T.J. Watt.
Sure.
That's going to be A.J. Epinesa. Mm-hmm. And that's a bunch of other guys. That's maybe even Chandler Jones, where, like, some years he's just not the best guy, but he was still reliable. And I like that. I like guys like that. Like, that's what I prefer, really. Like, yeah, you can have De'Aaron Donalds or you can have whoever, the Khalil Max, but they still not winning you Super Bowls. So if you give me like two of those reliable guys instead of the one Aaron Donald or Khalil Mack, I'll take that any day of the week. And that's really all I got, man.
Appreciate it, man. I think Von Miller had like,
all right, bro.
I think Von Miller had like 9.5 sacks like last year or something, like 9.5 sacks. Chandler Jones since 2013 has been number 1, 3, 8, 5, 3, 3, and 5 in sacks. Like he's been a top 8 guy since 2013. And like 1 year, man, like maybe got hurt or something. But Chandler Jones, I would love a guy like that just know how to get sacks, but just under the radar, just real low key. I ain't gotta have no big names on my team, man. I made a joke about Matos, Yatir Matos. I made a joke the other day. I was gonna tweet it, but I decided to save it for the live stream, whatever. Gross Matos is the kind of guy that's trash on 31 teams, but he'll lead the league in sacks on the Patriots. You know what I mean? Guys like that, man. That's all I'm saying. He says they don't take linebackers high. Von Miller. Well, see, Von Miller is a edge player. I'm talking about off the ball linebackers. I made sure to say off the ball linebackers. Those guys off ball linebackers don't get taken that high. They naturally don't. I think the last off ball linebacker that was taken high was the LSU kid, Devin White. It's been a while, so pardon my brain freeze there. But Devin White was the last off the ball linebacker I believe that was taken real high. He was like top 10, I believe, like that. But you got to be pretty special to be taken that high, you know. And I wouldn't even took Devin White that high, but that's y'all business. Justice, what's up?
What do you do, Voch?
Everything good, my guy. What you got for the show?
Like I wanted to talk about that second tier edge class that you were kind of attacked on today, with Josh Duche, Zach Bond, and Alton Robinson. I think this year is going to be a real special for the top of the second round guys who want a pass rusher. Mm-hmm. Like I really like Uche. Like he is slippery, big, he's twitchy. Dude probably will never play on second down. Dude will probably never play on second down. Zach Bond, he's come out and said that he's an off-ball linebacker, but he's gonna be rushing the passer on third downs for me. Terrell Lewis is one of those type of dudes that I probably wouldn't touch in the first, but if he comes in but if he's there in the second, he's my guy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a lot of those guys like that are situational pass rush, and to be fair, I don't want to call them situational pass rush because they're outside linebackers technically. Like they would be 3-4 guys. So they might be on the field, playing the run. I don't know. I mean, they might be doing that, but I just wish they was a little bigger, man. I wish they was a little bigger. A lot of these outside linebacker guys in this class, they just small. They just real small. I wish they had a little more thickness to them, but I like them though. And I pretty much agree with you know what I'm saying, what you're saying. I think they mostly gonna be like day 2 guys. I think they all gonna be bunched in there.
Yeah, but the one thing that usually happens on draft night is that one team usually gets antsy in the first round and says, "Hey, yo, there's still a chance we're gonna miss out on these second round hits," and they start the edge draft way too early. Seattle did it last year with that TCU guy, and then Baltimore reciprocated by taking Jalen Ferguson, and then by the second round, all the edge dudes are gone.
Edge guys fly off the board because they're important. I think this year's class, and I don't even want to say that because it's just kind of last minute right now. I think this year's edge class got a few more guys you could use. You know what I mean? And I would have to look at it on paper or whatever, but I think this class got more guys that I like and more guys that I know what to do with them when they get on my team. Like they would have a role defined already. Ferguson was a guy from Louisiana Tech. Shit, he led the nation in sacks, but after he did that, he just didn't seem interested. You know what I mean? Like it was always like small caveats like that. So you know, I mean, we'll see. The class ain't very top heavy, like it's chasing everybody else, but
it is, and that's why I'm kind of scared. Like one team's gonna fall in love with Terrell Lewis and just start the mark, and then just start the run on edge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. D-line in general are probably going to be like that. Like the tackles and the ends, they going to fly off early. And when you get to this, to the late day 2s and day 3s or whatever, that's when a lot of these safeties and corners and receivers going to be coming off the board, and running backs too, because there's a lot of them.
Yeah, but the one thing that we have this year that we didn't have last year is that there's a lot of offensive tackles, a lot of wide receivers, and there's a lot of teams in the top of the rounds with young QBs that want to marry their QBs to these offensive tackles and new wide receivers.
Say that one more time.
There's a lot of teams in the top, well, at least above the Falcons and your Dallas Cowboys that want to marry the wide receiver to their young quarterback, and they need an offensive lineman too, because their offensive linemen ain't that good.
That's fair. That's totally fair. And in real life, you would want your quarterback to have a wide receiver that he kind of grows old with, because a lot of what they do is based on chemistry. On chemistry. Plus, how many wide receiver number ones have there really been as of late? You know what I mean? So
not a lot.
So it's always good to just shoot your shot and see if you can get you one. The Cowboys had to go find Cooper, but I think Michael Gallup in the third round was a pretty good get. So I think that's what a lot of teams doing, man. That's where you build your team at, not with your first and second round picks, but hitting on third, fourth, and fifth round guys. That's really where you build your team at or whatever. So that makes
definitely
sense.
Like those are those scheme specific guys that you just draft to be just role players on your team. You put them in special spots to where they look good, but when it's contract time, you can shoo them away and draft the replacement a couple years early.
That makes sense, my guy. Hey, great call though, Justice. Appreciate you, fam.
Yes, sir. See you.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting to see how this class go in terms of where guys fall, like when the runs happen.
The conference has been locked.
I think the run on offensive tackle is going to be interesting. The run on first round receiver is going to be interesting, and I want to know when those pass rushes coming off the board. Well, those first few defensive ends, Matos and AJ Epinesa. I would love to know when those guys come off the board. All right, we're gonna shut the phones down and we're gonna get in the chat box for like 5 minutes, and then we're gonna run over to the other situation, and we're gonna watch some Senior Bowl practice. All right, so we're gonna do that. Let's see. I'm trying to copy and paste this this link for y'all because I know it's very much easy if y'all could just click the link. I just know it's a little easier for y'all to just click the link there. There we go. All right. Let's see what y'all got, chat box. Fire away. Fire away. Voch, who is an overrated offensive lineman in his class? The Wirfs kid from Iowa. I think he's pretty overrated, but I think he'll be a fantastic guard, though. I don't know how people looking at him and being like, hey, he's going to be a tackle that's better than these other tackles I like. Somebody asked me earlier. It was like, Voch, why is Andrew Thomas falling in the mock drafts or whatever? I'm like, oh, that's why I don't even like mock drafts. But yeah, Wirfs is I think they're overrating Wirfs a little bit. He ain't better than Wills or Thomas or whatever. And I still got a little work to do on Becton, so we'll see. We'll see. Hey, Voch, you looked at running backs? Who's the best pass protecting running back? I have not looked at running backs yet. Nene reminds me every day that I haven't watched running backs yet, but I'll be watching running backs soon. Hang tight. You can see Laramie Tunsil's face. He takes it off in the video. Oh, well, maybe I got the short video then. I got the short video. What's your thoughts on Chason drafted top 10 to 15? Hey, man, long as he, hey. I want as many players in the top 16 not named Isaiah Simmons as you can get me, player. As many as you can give me. I like Chason as a pass rusher though, but is he a complete player? It's really a translation thing for him. He's very raw, and I just want to see how he's going to translate to the next level. Like, is he going to be able to deal with these offensive linemen that are bigger and more powerful than the offensive lineman that he's currently dealing with? But I'm actually dropping a Chason film session like Monday or something. Let me check my schedule. Chason. Yeah, I'm gonna drop a Chason video next Monday. Well, so the 17th. So look out for that. Would you take Judy if he falls? Depending on who's on the board. If Chase Young is on the board, I'll take Chase over Judy. It depends. It depends. Me personally, I would have Winfield, McKinney. Where the hell is this Antoine Winfield hype coming from? Where is this coming from? What's the deal here? Can somebody explain the Antoine Winfield hype? Better than McKinney, Delpit, Davis, and what? Can somebody help me with this? Am I missing something? Voch, if Andrew Thomas was there at 17, you take him, and if you are, what do you do with him? Andrew Thomas better not be there at 17. I'll take him. I'll take him. I'll take Thomas at 17. Put his ass right at wherever you need him. Put him at left guard. I would take Andrew Thomas. Put his ass right at left guard, and let him and Connor fight it out. And if Tyron Smith happens to retire last minute, bump him out the left tackle. Running for the cardio, my guy. Chat Sports, well, they need to stop. Chat Sports need to stop. Winfield is so good versus the run. Winfield is not better than McKinney or Delpit. I don't think he's cool. He's fine. I'm not there. I'm just not there. I'm just not there. I'm just not there. Is there a cornerback who just whoops ass and isn't scared to tackle? Ball skills will be a plus. I wait real last minute to watch corners. I watched a handful. I've watched C.J. Henderson. I've watched Jeffrey Okudah. I've watched a handful of guys, but we'll see. I'll see. How would you have it? I just wouldn't want Winfield. I just feel like it's better players. Look, this is my whole thing about safety, right? As a Cowboy fan, I'm not one of these people that want to get a safety just for the hell of getting safety, just to say I got one. You know what I mean? So if I'm getting a safety, I need him to be a clear upgrade. Translation, if I don't get one in the first round, I'm running Woods. Heath, and Donovan Wilson. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna get all the way to the fourth round trying to find a safety that can come in and compete, because we did that last year. Just like I'm not looking for a left guard this year, because we did that last year. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not I'm not going to get freaking Winfield. Winfield will go top 6. Okay, you like Winfield. That's just what it is. You just like Winfield. It's all good. Have you done tight ends yet? I hate tight ends, so nah. I'll do tight ends last with the other positions that I hate, like linebacker and and cornerback. I'll do those last because those are the ones I hate. Those are the positions I hate. What do you think about Jalen Rager? See, y'all don't be watching my live streams. Where y'all be at? Savage Time. So listen, Savage Time, when you miss my live stream, how come you don't go back and watch the old joints? How come you don't go watch the old live streams when I be talking about this stuff? When you be at Savage Time, I'm pulling your card, player. I'm pulling your card. Let me find some cards to pull. I'm pulling your card, player. Where you at? I need them views, fam. We'll have a Thomas and Wills video. Yeah, just be tuned for that and hit the. Hey, if you want to contribute to that, Ken, just hit the Patreon, dog. Or hit the whatever. But we gonna drop that anyway. We gonna drop that anyway. But hell, I don't think Dallas need a tight end. I'm just. Let's just run Jarwin and just, do that or whatever. But anyway, hey, I'm dropping links in the chat box, and y'all can run over to the other video. And when you get there, because that's gonna be a 30-minute video, we're gonna be in that watch party for a long time. When you get to that video, tell me if you coming from the live stream, and I'll acknowledge that you came from the live stream. I appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. My Patreon, we're gonna be giving away free merch, man. And we just probably gonna be doing that all month, so that'll be for all tiers of Patreon. I've already emailed the winners for this month. I got to email the guys from last month again because they ain't never hit me back, but it's cool. I'll probably end up sending their stuff to somebody else if they don't hit me again this month. T-Rod is gonna get some stuff because he was going real hard in the super chat the other day. So I just want to thank y'all for that. I just want to thank them for that. So if y'all are subscribed to the Patreon, you will go in that pool to get some free merch. All right. Voch need a timeout for spamming. This is my shit. All right. So y'all meet me over at the other video. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Y'all hold it down for the Doski Woski. The Peasky Whiskey is free. You heard? Salute.